can't do anything with them. Even if I buy your argument as completely true, you're still suspended and were, on the date of this ticket, my ticket, the one I've got authority over, you were suspended by the Secretary of State. Whether or not that was a valid or invalid suspension, you were still suspended. Yeah, so one file's a money issue. The old one from December 2016, that's a drove while license suspended. The file shows you owe money.
Yes.
Right, all right. So we'll talk about that one. All right, and then you filed a motion on the case from November of 2025, correct? All right, give me a minute to look at the paperwork. Okay, I did see Mr. Blade's motion. I did have a chance to see that, read that one already. So I'm going to read the people's response. Okay, I've had a chance to review. So anything you want to add to your written brief?
Just that there was no personal jurisdiction when the court lacked the authority to make a judgment or default judgment.
You're talking about the Monroe case?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
They lacked jurisdiction in order to make that case or make a judgment for.
Anything else?
I can't find them any to prove service and collective. I saw people service from President.
You're, just to be clear for the record, we're still talking about the Monroe case?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Right, right.
We to ask for proof of service that were unable to provide it.
Right.
They told me that it was with the sheriff. Well, we go to the sheriff's office to ask for proof of service because that service is
right.
Because I never received a notice to appear in court, so I had no idea that it was charged again.
Okay.
And going forward, I go to the sheriff's office. I ask for the proof of service from Sheriff's Secretary Bird. I'm not sure that they were in a position or if she's at nine test. But she noticed that the ticket had the officer's name, which happened to be down currently the tenant. He come out and spoke to me. He said, I don't remember this ticket. I don't even believe I was I don't even believe I was on that shift at this time. A few things that he mentioned to me. So I wasn't prepared for this. I was studying everything supposed to be clear. When he spoke to me, I took what he said and I said, okay, maybe I can get him to fill out an affidavit.
Right.
The things he said, I'm not asking him for anything in my favor, just what you recall. All I want. He didn't respond in time. He mentioned that he would have no problem speaking to the court here for the last case. But I didn't receive that response in time to go to the court. But he went into my motion. The officer said he believes that I did have insurance, but I was a pretty sure force. Having in notification with the court to be there, it's prison charge.
Okay. Anything else? Anything to add to your written response that I just read?
No, yeah, the court is well aware that this court doesn't have any jurisdiction over a no proof of insurance citation that was issued by Monroe County Sheriff's Department in 2005.
All right. Mr. Blade, I've got a question for you. Do you know whether or not the Michigan Secretary of State listed you as a valid driver on November 29, 2025?
No, I have no idea.
Okay. So if I told you the Secretary of State record showed you were suspended on the day that Officer Hayden stopped you, you would have no reason to take issue with that fact? If I told you that your driving record listed you as a suspended driver on November 29, 2025, you have no argument one way or the other whether or not that's the case.
One more time.
No, that's all right. I don't want an answer if you don't understand the question. If I told you your Secretary of State driving record showed you as a suspended driver on November 25th of 25, would you have any reason to deny that as factually correct? Okay. All right. So I'm going to deny your motion for two reasons. Number one, his actions are based on what the Secretary of State says, not what the Monroe County Sheriff's Office says. B, I don't have the authority to do what you're asking me to do, because if I understand the situation, your Monroe case has been completely adjudicated in Monroe. They've left that on your record. I don't have the authority to change that record.
That's not what my motion is asking, but I'm only asking you if you would recognize the jurisdiction. That's all I'm asking.
I can't do anything with them. Even if I buy your argument as completely true, you're still suspended and were on the date of this ticket, my ticket, the one I've got authority over, you were suspended by the Secretary of State. Whether or not that was a valid or invalid suspension, you were still suspended. So my ticket, the Huron Township ticket, is a perfectly valid ticket moving forward.
But the jury,
Gather your thoughts. I'm not in any hurry. These kids want a show.
default judgment issued without prior notice can be deemed as a violation of the party's right to due process.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But not by me. I can't override the Monroe Court. Now, I can take all this into consideration when I sentence you on this file, but I can't set aside what happened in Monroe. Okay. Okay. Are you just seeking to mitigate your damages here? Are you just seeking to mitigate your damages in this court based on what happened in Monroe?
Monroe is the reason. So
Absolutely.
we can't separate the two because it's the Monroe charge that got me of driving without.
Right.
That got my life.
Right. I understand that.
I did insurance, which I absolutely did. Would you like to see that?
No. I'll for today's argument, I'll take your word for it.
I did actually have insurance,
Right.
but I didn't have an opportunity to defend, to show the court that I had insurance. So going to jail and then to prison right behind us, when I come home, I'm trying to get my life together.
Okay. Well, first of all, I can't speak from personal knowledge of Monroe, but every court I know of on a civil infraction, they don't send a notice out on the civil infraction. The ticket is your notice that you've got a problem you got to deal with.
But I didn't receive it. I went to jail that night.
So they never handed you a ticket. Okay. Well, then you got a problem, but I can't fix it. I don't have the authority to fix it. If we have a trial on today's DWLS case, as prosecutor, she's going to have to prove to me that on November 29, 2025, your driving privileges were suspended in the state of Michigan. And she's going to have to prove to me that you were driving a vehicle on that date in Huron Township. If she proves that to me, I'm finding you guilty of drove while license suspended, revoked, or denied. The fact that the Secretary of State shouldn't have suspended you does not change that at all. You were suspended. Whether or not Monroe screwed up or they didn't screw up, you were suspended. So I'm denying your motion. Okay? I'm assuming we can have some pretrial conversation.
And you're,
Okay.
Mr. Blake, if one wishes to plead to be drove while license suspended, I will dismiss the two remaining.
And I don't even have the remaining charges, so are they already in default? Or did I just not get the files?
Vehicle and another misdemeanor registration title among the three.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking for civil infraction. Okay. All right. Do you want to avail yourself of that offer? He will dismiss 2 misdemeanors if you plead to the drove while license suspended. So the misdemeanor unregistered vehicle and the plate or registration violation misdemeanor, right? Those two would be dismissed if you plead to the drove while license suspended, revoked, or denied.
See that over?
The hallway is yours. Yeah, go take a minute. That's fine. Why?
Research.
You no objection to another? We'll adjourn it. Oh, I don't care. March 12th, give you enough time?
Yes.
Okay, so Heather will prepare a notice on that one. Now, as to the December 1, 2016 file, our records show that you owe $840. Are you in a position to make some kind of a payment plan on that?
But I have any money to pay. I currently don't have any money.
All right, you're confused. You don't have any money today?
Yes.
All right, but you could commit to some regular payments and make them. How much, how often, when do you want to start?
I think about financial. But I don't make very much money.
I need you to make some kind of commitment today if you can. You don't have to start it today.
It shows that.
Okay. How much?
Even if it's just $1.
No, I'm not paying a clerk to process a dollar payment. But I got to get something going. How's this? When's the last time you worked? Where do you work? Walmart? Cormart, what do they do? Okay, full-time job? Okay, can you pay $50 a month? Start when? First Friday of March is the 6th, and that's 2 weeks out. Can you do that? 50 a month. We'll always take more, so if you want to pay extra. $50 a month, starting March 6th. Yes? Agreed? Okay. We're getting you notice on that other court date. Have a good day.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Officer Haydack, always a pleasure. Be safe.
The courtroom proceedings centered on a charge of driving while license suspended, DWLS. But the defendant argued that the suspension itself stemmed from an earlier case in Monroe County that he believed was handled improperly. According to the defense, he never received proper notice of the original citation, was denied a fair opportunity to present proof of insurance, and questioned whether the Monroe court ever obtained proper jurisdiction over him. He maintained that these procedural issues ultimately led to the suspension that triggered the current criminal charge. The prosecution, however, focused on a much narrower legal issue. Regardless of the defendant's complaints about the earlier case, the state argued that the Michigan Secretary of State officially listed him as having a suspended license on the day he was stopped. From the prosecution's perspective, that fact alone satisfied the legal requirements for the DWLS charge. One of the most important moments came when the judge questioned the defendant directly about whether he disputed the Secretary of State's records. The defendant ultimately offered no factual challenge to the record showing his license was suspended on the date of the traffic stop. That exchange became the turning point of the hearing. The judge carefully explained that even if every allegation about the Monroe County case were true, this court simply lacked the authority to overturn another court's completed judgment. Because the suspension remained active in the official records, the traffic stop and resulting charge were legally valid. The judge denied the defendant's motion while emphasizing that any dispute over the earlier case had to be addressed through the proper legal channels. Before concluding, the prosecutor extended a plea offer to dismiss 2 misdemeanor charges if the defendant pleaded guilty to the suspended license offense. The hearing was adjourned to allow further discussion, and the judge also established a $50 per month payment plan for an outstanding $840 obligation from the older case. Cases like this highlight an important legal principle. Courts are bound by official records unless those records are overturned through the appropriate process. Procedural concerns may be significant, but they do not automatically invalidate a separate charge based on an active license suspension. If you found this courtroom analysis informative, please like the video, subscribe to the channel for more real courtroom breakdowns, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts on this case and whether you agree with the judge's reasoning.